Hey everyone, Scar43 here today, and today I'm going to talk about how I think playing Destiny is harder to be a solo player than it is to play with like friends, or if you have like a solid group of people that you play with on the daily. Um, so if you have the same ideas, post your comments down below. Let me know if you're having struggles playing through Destiny and its content, and let me know your story. So let me get right into it. So, pretty much the way I see Destiny is if you don't have a core base of friends to play with, um, it makes it hard for you as a player to actually go through the content. And yes, I know there's ways of getting groups and forming groups, but sometimes not everyone's going to take those avenues to, form groups. And yes, you could say it's because they're lazy, but a lot of times too, a lot of gamers aren't the most sociable person, let alone trying to talk to strangers. I feel like the common idea behind most people who stream video games was that their first founding idea of why they stream was to try to make a couple friends, to play the game that they're streaming, a game that they're enjoying. Partially part of the reason why I decided to start streaming. I just found it as a possible avenue to maybe make a few friends along the way. The other thing too is that some of the systems I think they have in place aren't beneficial to the actual Destiny platform. Not saying that like the Destiny app is not good or anything, but it's like if you're trying to find people to play a game with, typically you want to find people to play a game with in game. There's no way to really communicate with players that aren't on your friends list, or there's no way to like try to form up like a party in game other than directly messaging people or opening up your phone and going to an app and trying to messaging your clan or opening up an actual group, and then trying to find people that way. I know there's a thing like guided games, but in its current state, I'm not saying it's unplayable. Yes, you can sit there and wait in a queue, but the problem is since you wait at a black screen, it doesn't make it very enjoyable for the player waiting. I feel that the group that's looking for people typically probably don't have as long of a time, but the person who's looking for that spot probably sits there for a while before they get accepted into anything. Um, and that's one of those things that's kind of weird. It doesn't seem very pro gamer if you have to sit at a black screen and just wait, especially if wait time is, I would say, more than 5 minutes. Because I think the one time I did it, I think the wait time said 7 minutes, and I gave it 5 minutes, and it was just like one of those things that wasn't productive to me because it took me away from playing the game. And then I saw that the raid queue was I think like 40 something minutes, and I couldn't imagine what you'd be doing in that 40-minute time, of not playing Destiny. I feel like you'd either become discouraged probably after like 20-30 minutes, but I mean, granted, I'm sure there's people who probably wait, and I'm sure there's the chances of that it becomes you get in sooner. It's like a lot of games that I've played before, you have a matchmaking system, but you're allowed to still play the game as you're matchmaking, like as if it was like you could you know click like a menu option, click matchmaking, and then queue you up as you're playing, so that you keep on playing. It keeps you into the game. Another thing too that a lot of games do is that they'll have like an in-game like um, looking for group system, where people looking for another person or other people, they can post a group and then people pretty much can apply, and then it's a matter of time for that person to accept that person in the group. I know because it's on console, it's kind of limited. A lot of the games I've played that have that usually are on PC, and it's a lot easier. But I know that like the consoles have like a keyboard, or you can almost like it could be pretty much just a bunch of drop down menus. If you're doing like a looking for group, you just want another person for Nightfall, you can just literally have like a looking for group, and then it just drop down to Nightfall, and then or looking for group for raid. And then either you then type in like what you're looking for. Granted, because there's not really like um, there's not really set classes, no set tank, there's no set DPS, there's no set healer. The only thing I could say is like if you're looking for two hunters and a warlock, it's like almost if there was a bunch of drop downs, and you could just like click drop down for amount of players, and then click a drop down for what class, and then so on and so forth, and then possibly like a minimum light level, and then it's just a basic drop down. Granted, I don't know how intuitive it would be because, you know, you could, I mean, granted, a light level is different. You could physically type in three numbers. I don't think it's too hard to use the in game console keyboard and type in three numbers, and then you pretty much post it, and then the player who's looking for a group can almost queue into that group. But I mean, like I said, I feel like in its current state, I feel like it's going to discourage after a while the player who is playing Destiny um, by themselves, are going to get discouraged or feel left behind just because, you know, they're going to be like, well, I can't do the raid, I can't do the nightfall, um, you know, they can't do trials. You know, it's very tough for a player who either has limited friends or doesn't have any friends to actually enjoy all the content Destiny provides. And I think that, you know, Destiny needs to, you know, think of other avenues to kind of like make it more enticing for a player who may not have friends to try to keep them in game and want to look for people to play with. Let me know what you think about this issue down in the comments below, and if you like the video, remember to like and subscribe.